Hello everyone, I'm Savitri Marianti Indias, and today I want to present a journal with the title is An Exploration into the Impact of Web Quest-Based Classroom on EFL Learners' Critical Thinking and Academic Writing Skill, a mixed method study. This research conducted by Saman Ebadi and Masud Raimi in 2018. This video is for completing final test of academic speaking course with Mrs. Aris Santi. Okay, let's start with the introduction part. One of the most important goals in education is to create a student-centered learning environment in which students manage their own learning. The characteristics of a student-centered learning environment are that students are independent and responsible for their own learning, while the teacher has a coaching role and knowledge is regarded as a tool instead of an aim. The skill that is needed in this goal is critical thinking, which is also has relationship with writing skill. But the problem that arises is, in traditional lectures, the student's role is passive, which might cause learning difficulties. Although conducting traditional lectures is not much demanding for educators and teachers, it is a challenge for educators and teachers to design and conduct student-centered learning environment as they are not sufficiently prepared and supported in this regard. One of the solutions is using online learning that have addressed to become active and student-centered learning environment. One of the online learning that provided by this research is using web quest-based classroom. From that introduction, the research questions are two. The first one is, compared to face-to-face learning, how effective is web quest-based classroom in developing EFL learners' critical thinking and academic writing skill? And the second one is, what are EFL learners' attitudes and perception toward the impact of web quest-based classroom on critical thinking and academic writing skill? To make the research more accurate, the researchers also read some literature review. The first one is, web quests provide different activities for in-depth study of content, and facilitate critical and complex thinking skills through evaluating the web research for determining the authenticity of information and critiquing different texts. From XPace and Point on 2007. The next literature review is from Condon and Kelly Riley on 2004. Adopting critical thinking skills suitably helps students apply writing skill appropriately, and using writing skill properly help them apply critical thinking skill appropriately. The next one is from Chu on 2007. Learners writing in the WebQuest instruction class outperform those in the traditional instruction class. The last one is from Tramsin Sawadi on 2009. Learner writing skills significantly and positively improve after using WebQuest. After I talk about introduction, research question, and literature review, I move to the research methodology. As I say in the title, the design of the research is using mixed method study. For the participant itself, the researchers used 20 students from 2 intact classes at a private language institute in Sanandaj, Iran. For the instrument itself, there are 3 instruments. The first one is the California Critical Thinking Skill Test, or CCTST, from B. And then the second one is IELTS Academic Writing Task 1 and Task 2. And the last one is semi-structured interview. From the procedures itself, the first one is all participants took pre-test to measure the initial ability of the participants. The second one is participants divided into 2 groups, the experimental groups and the control group. In the experimental group, the researchers or instructor create a web quest to develop the learner's critical thinking and academic writing skill. In the control group or face-to-face classroom, the instructions use face-to-face interaction to conduct and to develop the learner's critical thinking and academic writing skill. The third procedure is all participants given some treatment to analyze the writing task from IELTS academic writing. And the fourth procedure is the web quest-based classroom took shorter, or we can say that 14 session, and the face-to-face classroom took longer session or 28 session class. At the end and the last procedure, participants took post-test and semi-interview. To analyze the result of the study, the researchers used multivariate analysis of variance or MANOVA, multivariate analysis of covariance or MANCOVA, and thematic analysis. The result of the study and the discussion. The first one, the research question number 1, compared to face-to-face classroom, how effective is web quest-based classroom in developing EFL learners' critical thinking and academic writing skill? From the data from the table also said that web quest-based classroom was a more effective instructional process in developing EFL learners' critical thinking and academic writing in comparison with the face-to-face classroom. Moreover, web quest-based classroom had a long-term impact on both critical thinking and academic writing development. Nevertheless, face-to-face classroom had a long-term impact only on critical thinking development. Web quest-based classroom and face-to-face classroom had significant impact on critical thinking and academic writing skill after controlling for the pretest. There was significant difference between the groups post-test and the light post-test on the 5 areas of critical thinking and the 4 areas of academic writing after removing the effect of the covariance, and that the experimental group outperformed the control group. Nevertheless, no significant differences were found between the two group post-tests on inductive reasoning skill and their delay post-test on inference skill. The findings of the study in this regard are in agreement with those of Tarmsin Sawadi on 2009, Lee on 2013, who argued that learners' writing skill in the web quest-based instruction class significantly and positively improved and outperformed those in the traditional instruction class. The next result and discussion is from the second research question. What are EFL learners' attitudes and perception toward the impact of web quest-based classroom on critical thinking and academic writing skill? The EFL learners' perception towards the impact of web quest-based classroom on their critical thinking and academic writing skill were positive, because they can easily read material that they need and discuss with their classmates in the classroom. Nevertheless, the only difficulty which they report was with the low-speed internet connection. The findings of the study in this regard are in line with those of Aydin, Hang, March, and Gulbahar et al., who found positive attitudes and perception of the learners toward the web quest instruction class. The results also supported by the finding of Zheng et al. At 2005. From all the result and discussion, the conclusion are conducting a web quest-based classroom contribute to EFL teacher to develop EFL learners' critical thinking and academic writing skill more effectively and efficiently both in the short and long term. For the future research, the researchers recommend that there could be carried on different language skill along with critical thinking skill, particularly reading comprehension, in which the effect of web quest on semantic and systemic knowledge of the learner could be explored. Okay, that's all for my presentation. If you have any question, feel free to write down in the comment section below. That's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Bye.